Hello and welcome to Uptown Tonight. Well, that band was called 0 Hour back in the day. Way back in the day. Then it turned into Denied by Christ after I left. So, yeah, that's the way it went. But hello and welcome to Uptown Tonight. I am your host, Mr. Wayne Stollenfacher, or Discount Tom Cruise, or Tom Brady. Some people call me Steve Wozniak. I don't get that part. Other than I have a lot of apples. But, past that, it's all good. It's all good. But today we have the one and only Darsombra in the house with Ann and Brian are both in here. Man, this is going to be really cool because I'm not quite sure where you're from, but I know it's from the East, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it. And we're just going to have a great conversation here. This is really, really cool. And they're heading up to Canada tomorrow, and they're doing the whole rock star dream is basically staying off in rest areas and Walmarts and all that fun stuff. I was telling them I haven't done that since the 90s. And we had this big old bus that we drove. It was crazy, but, we got to talk about me first before we get to Darsombra here. But, I am boring. So here's what happened. Oh, that's right. We got Cito hanging out there with Junior. Junior's selling our Uptown gear right there. And we will be tomorrow night at the Windbreak. We'll be playing out there, then up in Grand Forks on Friday, and then Saturday, I can't remember where we're at, but it's some rodeo someplace. But on, Thursday, come on out to the Windbreak and come and get some Uptown gear. Keep us on the road and all that fun stuff. And then there's old Zebras. He definitely doesn't look that way anymore, and neither does that couch. I'll tell you that. But Zebras does say support our troops. I am a little biased. My son is in South Korea right now in the Army as a sergeant, so... yeah, we have to support our troops there. So there's Zebra helping support our troops. And we were at a mud bog type event last weekend, and it went pretty well. I don't have any pictures of it, as it was that kind of event. But as it went along, basically we got through 2-3 sets before everyone decided that campfires are more interesting than the band. It happens sometimes, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere. And it was a long drive, I'll tell you that. But that's how it is. So let's get on to Darsombra here. So who wants to go first? We're going with Brian or Ann? We got Ann up. We got Brian. We got Ann. We got Brian. Let's just go with this way. Who started the band?
I did.
Okay, Brian started the band here, so you got to give us a little background of why and what's going on here.
Yeah, so Darsombra started around 2000, 2001.
There you go.
And it was originally conceived as a one-person project. I was doing a metal band called Meat Jack for many, many years. And
I love that name. Meat Jack, yes.
And the band, we go through the Spinal Tap drummer syndrome where we wouldn't have a drummer for a while.
They turned to goo.
Oh, yeah. And
I was just listening to something about spontaneous human combustion. And they were trying to explain how it actually works. I'm like,
it's when you turn up to 11.
There's nothing left but a small globule. But so I started as a one-person project because the band was having the Spinal Tap drummer syndrome, and I was getting bored with staying home a lot because that band used to tour when we had drummers. So I was inspired by Joe Preston from the Throne, he does a project called Thrones, and Robert Fripp doing his Frippertronic things, just to have
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah,
nice.
just to have a project I could do and still stay active when my other band wasn't active. And then when the band broke up, I kind of started doing it, more or less full time. And so it existed as a one-person band for about almost 10 years until we met. And then Ann joined the band in 2010?
I joined in 2010 as
so,
a video
about 10 years.
projectionist.
But you got to explain how you did the one-man band thing. So there's some people out in Western or North Dakota that actually has the drum and stuff.
Well, it was mostly a lot. If there was any drums, it was usually on a backing track.
Nice.
But other than that, most of it was just a lot of loops and layers. That's kind of like what we still do even now. Is a lot of everything's kind of based around a loop, and then we'll just layer stuff on top of it and build it up and deconstruct it and do whatever. So yeah,
all fun.
Yeah.
And those early Darsombra days, too, were real ambient. I think now a lot of people expect us to be a drone band, primarily because of those early Darsombra days. So
I gotcha.
In for a surprise.
So you actually have like written out music and everything else.
I mean, it's not written like,
It's
you
not
know.
written like sheet music written, but yeah, our music is all composed now. I mean, how would
Yeah.
you even
Okay.
put it? Yeah, we play the same thing every night. People think it's improvised, and they're like, "No, we wrote this."
Oh, seriously?
This is a 40-minute song. That we wrote.
Because I was in a band like that. It'd be before you guys got going there. It'd been 90s, late 90s, called Dorian. And that's basically what we did is you made like a rock song, but then we turned it into some kind of jam band type thing. So it would go on until someone gave a cue, and it was a specific person had to give the cue to go on to the next section. So, yeah, they'd last 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And everything else. But, no, that's nice to hear because I remember we got in the studio, and the studio guy made us really condense everything down and everything else. And, yeah, it made some of the members bad.
Yeah,
You know,
sure,
just how it
as it
is.
will.
I bet.
Yeah. So that's cool. So that's from the start of Darsombra here. But where did you all come from? Obviously, you were playing metal before, and then where did Ann come into all this play? But let's start with Brian. Let's start with Brian here.
Yeah.
Where are you from? How'd you get started with all this stuff in the first place?
I'm from Maryland, the
Maryland.
Baltimore area,
Gotcha.
or as people out west think, Massachusetts.
Send them back to Baltimore.
And what was the question? How to get started?
Yeah, it's like you grew up there, obviously. Or?
Yeah, no, I played guitar since I was a little kid, basically. And
Oh,
you
how
know,
little?
Like 10, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I just got did a couple of different bands over the years, and then did the metal band Meat Jack for a while. That was a lot of fun. It was with my brother, and we were active from pretty much the late '80s till about 2005.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was a good run, and put out a bunch of albums, did tours all over the U.S. a bunch.
So you can't just skim over all this fun stuff because that's out in the Midwest. You don't get to see this very often. So what got you started with guitar in the first place? You had a musical family
Kiss.
Kiss? Of course. Yes.
It wasn't. I didn't have a musical family really at all. I mean, they liked music, and my people would sing. My dad would sing to me songs, and my grandfather and stuff like that, and my grandmother. But no, it was just like I saw Kiss, and I was like, I want to
You
be
saw
like that.
Kiss. I'm gonna guess this was in the 80s.
77.
Well,
God.
my dad
In the prime.
Yeah, my dad. I was in 4th grade,
Who were the openers?
and my dad took. I'll get to that. My dad took me to see Kiss because they were my favorite band in 4th grade or 5th grade or whatever it was. It was 1977,
Okay.
and he surprised me and said, we're going to go out." It was like late December. It was like mid-December. He said, "We're going to go out and buy a Christmas gift for your mom." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I didn't even realize until we were pulling into the arena parking lot. I'm like, "This is the place Kiss is playing tonight." And he's like, "That's right, we're going." And so I got to see Kiss.
Dude. What?
It blew my little mind. The volume, it was amazing. This was back in the days when the whole arena would be a cloud of weed smoke. And so that was, something I
Yes.
was not used to. Or I probably got my first buzz from the
Little
just
contact. Huh?
breathing all
Never
the
hurt
air.
anybody.
Yeah. And the openers were this little up and coming band called AC/DC.
Oh, little upping. Oh my God.
They still had Bon Scott in the band at the
Oh.
time. And my little, Kiss brain was like, I didn't know anything about them. I was just like, I was there to see Kiss. I knew anything about this other band. I kind of paid a little bit of attention to them, but not too much because I was like, they weren't even on my radar yet. So.
It sounds like me, except I skipped the entire thing. It was that Skid Row came to town and Pantera was opening up for them, and I missed it. And everyone kept coming back to high school talking about how Pantera was just a more extreme band than Skid Row could ever be.
Yeah, sure.
And I became a Pantera fanatic for a while there. So I missed that one. That's freaking
So that's
awesome.
what got me all inspired to play guitar was, Ace Frehley, basically.
Yeah.
And that was my big inspiration at the time.
So how did you
started
get
it
your
off.
guitar and all that fun stuff then? If your parents weren't musical, then they just didn't hand you over
Well,
one?
my first guitar was like just a little crappy beater acoustic guitar that we picked up at like a a yard sale or something. I'm not even sure if it had all 6 strings on it, or I didn't know how to tune it or anything. Eventually, when they saw I was super interested, we went down to the local music store and they bought me a little guitar and like a little. I didn't get an amp, but I got these like a little headphone amp.
Oh, that pig nose thing?
It wasn't even that. It was like
Oh.
headphones.
Okay.
And so I could play my guitar and just in my head, and so they didn't have to hear it.
That's awesome.
How bad it was. It was a little electric guitar. It was my first little electric guitar. It was like sort of like an SG copy, sort of looked like an SG, but it was probably like a Hondo. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was a Hondo.
I keep showing her my Hondo V that I picked up. So, yeah, those things are, man, they're vintage now. Nobody
I know.
has them
At the
anymore.
time, everybody thought these are the cheap knockoff things, and now
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Whoa, Hondo!"
Exactly. I picked mine up for $5. I could not believe
Wow.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
some guy at a garage sale again. I don't do garage sales. No, that's my house is all full of shit. But sweet. So that's how it got you started. You take lessons then and all that,
A
or
little bit, yeah. First, I took there was at the place where I bought the electric guitar. They offered lessons, and so I took lessons from the guy. We did a little bit of the read the notes and play like Down in the Valley or whatever. But I learning how to read music is a very long, laborious process that didn't maybe interest me so much at that age. So then he just started showing me chords, and he's like, here's a G, and here's a C, and here's a D, and here's a Beatles song you can play with these 3 chords, So I was like, so that's kind of like how I got my initial
well, that's where the hook would really
lessons.
get set. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Then what'd your brother play?
My brother originally played guitar as well, so
Okay.
we were like a 2 guitar attack kind of a band. But then
Gotcha.
we kept, along with having the Spinal Tap drummer syndrome, we also had a similar bass player.
What's wrong with drummers out there?
We had a similar bass player issue, and I think after a few bass players, he was just like, "Screw it, man! Let's just be a power trio. I'll switch to bass." And so he became a phenomenal bass monster, and they used to call him the chord lord because he played these big burly bass chords, and and it's actually, I thought the band wouldn't sound as big or heavy or because we had one less member, but it got much better. I don't know, it had all this space in the music, and
we got to fill it up with stuff. Then.
yeah. So we enjoyed that a lot.
It's beautiful. And so how long these bands last? You started these in high school at all, or is just afterwards?
I mean, I had a band I was in high school that mostly just did like covers and stuff like that. We didn't have any originals. But Meat Jack lasted from about 88, 89 to like 2005.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's a run.
It was a run, yeah, for a band, yeah, because I feel like most bands don't even last 5 years.
No, usually not. Usually a 4-year span.
Yeah,
on that. Was this all original then?
Yes, all original.
That long.
Yeah, well, when
Nice.
me and my brother first started the band, there wasn't a lot of places around Baltimore where original bands could play. So we would do some covers and then sneak in some originals. But it was always like the weirdest covers. It was never like, oh, there's a cover band playing tonight. We would do like weird shit that like just really weird, obscure covers. So it didn't even make sense to bother learning them. And then within a year or two, we had like, more than enough material for albums, and we pretty much dropped doing any covers
Gotcha.
pretty quickly.
So how many did you? I'm guessing you recorded.
Yeah.
Had to have.
Yeah, the band Meat Jack. Yeah, we put out a couple of full-length albums and a couple of split EPs and
Gotcha.
a lot of little 7-inch records and just oddball songs on compilations and shit like that.
No, that's cool though.
Yeah.
You can go back and listen to all that stuff
Yeah.
again. And
So what the hell were we thinking?
well, yeah, you got that too. I know I still get that when I listen to some of my old stuff. Like, what the? What inspired that day? I don't know.
For sure.
So cool. And then you started up with Darsombra,
Yeah.
the one-man band without the percussion stuff, backing tracks. And then Ann shows up. So now Ann's got to give her story. Like, where did you come from and all that?
Well, my background, honestly, when I joined Darsombra, as I was saying earlier, I
Yeah.
was just a projectionist. and
Protectionist.
Projectionist.
Oh, projectionist. Sorry.
Projectionist.
I was like protectionist. What the
My
heck? is-
background's in video art. I'm a visual artist.
Ah, very
And
nice.
so it
That explains some
wasn't-
of the photos.
And the videos too.
I haven't watched one yet.
So I joined the band as a musician in 2013, playing synthesizer and percussion, and joining him on vocals.
Gotcha.
And my background as a musician is pretty varied. As a really young child, I played violin. I loved playing my grandparents' pianos. Like, my grandparents on both sides had pianos, so I'd go visit their houses and go nuts on the piano.
Well, that's
And,
cool. Did you have lessons then and all that? Did you kind of
I
come
had
up?
violin lessons, but I stuck with them until I was maybe 10, like age 5 to 10. So
Well,
I
that's really well. I shouldn't say
No,
really early, but it feels early for me.
Yeah, I mean, we learned, like,
I'm sure you got your
basic
hot cross
reading
buns and
music.
yep.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I think Ode to Joy was kind of like the final frontier for a lot of kids learning violin. Like, I
course.
remember a recital where no one could get through it, myself included.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was something. And I mean, I grew up going to church, singing in church choir. It's not really, I mean, I kind of worship the goat these days, so it's not really my thing. But it did teach me about harmony early
Yes.
on, vocal harmony, reading music to some degree, not really something I've kept up with. And, I went to this real fancy, like, private girls' school where there was a lot of music education as well. But it's funny, I kind of left music alone between age 18 and 30-something or other. I was always a fan of music, always
Yes.
listened to music, but
But you had a nice classical upbringing with all that.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's a stretch.
Well, still, there's knowledge there.
Something
Obviously
like that.
retained.
Something like that. But I learned a lot from Brian, honestly, about how to play music. He won't claim to this at all, but little simple things like chords, chord theory, and why you don't play two notes right next to each other unless you're doing jazz. And then even
That's
then
what I
you
always
have to do
say.
it twice in a row to make it seem like it's worthwhile.
No, so very cool, very cool. What got you started playing violin in the past?
Gosh, I was so little. I mean, I was like 5. A violinist came to our preschool, and I was so wowed. I think it was the first time I'd really seen live music, and just the idea that you could make things sound good from this object was so appealing. So, it was
that's
a
cool.
beginning.
So you just asked the parents and take some lessons?
Oh,
and
yeah, they were super supportive. My folks, my paternal grandmother was an artist. She was a painter.
Okay.
And so growing up, my home was always super artistic. My father, even though he was a lawyer, he also had, this great love of art and music. Definitely got me into records and stuff when I was really little.
Nice.
And my mom, she always had a deep love of art and art history and that type of thing. So I was always kind of on an art path anyway, and always encouraged in that direction. So, and then I studied art in college. Like, it was a whole thing.
So college educated as well on all this.
Oh, yeah. I studied 6 languages. I've
What?
spoiled with education. Guess what I do for a living now besides, obviously, Darsombra.
Yes.
After college, I went and studied for 6-7 months and became a barber.
Isn't that what it's like
Because
doing,
my
doing all
childhood
that?
barber
Oh, you
worked
don't
2
want to
days a
hear my
week.
college experience.
And told me, all right, if you want to be an artist, you have to have a side hustle, and that's been a good side hustle for all these years. Although now I think the band kind of eclipses the barbering in terms of household income, so we're lucky.
Cool.
We're very lucky.
That's even better yet.
Rare treat.
Now, you guys played yesterday?
Yeah.
Is that up at the aquarium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I always say I'm going to get out, but I am a recluse. I just
Post-COVID
hide.
World, we're all
yeah.
recluses now.
It's terrible. It is so bad. So I didn't get out to that. So how was the show last night?
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Okay.
Sweaty.
Loud?
Loud and sweaty.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was. It's funny. Our band is, we're kind of. They call us genre defying or whatever, or genre fluid, because we have a lot of different kind of sounds. We're not like a straight up metal band, and we're not a straight up, any kind of anything really. So we end up on all kinds of bills. We end up on metal bills and just rock and roll bills and experimental noise kind of bills. And so last night was more like, a lot of experimental noise kind of acts for the most part.
But
And
I dare say we sounded different from all the experimental acts.
Yeah, well, but we always sound different from all the acts, no matter what kind of bill they put us on. But we still, it still works somehow. So it was really fun. It was a lot of acts. It was like 6 acts, including
Yeah,
us.
I think so. I remember shouting it out.
Yeah, and but it was good. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of different. All the acts were different, and really interesting.
Long night.
Yes, indeed.
It
Made some
could've-
friends.
I guess it
Did
could
some
have been
things.
longer. That's the funny thing, because these experimental noise acts, they'll play like 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then just take the laptop off the stage, and
Yeah.
then it's our turn to set up 5,000 things.
With that, we should get to some of your photos because I know you have the gong in there, and I'm a percussionist myself,
Yeah.
so basically I like that type of stuff when you see it on stage. Doo, dun, dun, dun. Where are you? You are right there. Then that
That's
photo, I
us.
love that photo.
That's
us.
me and
Yeah.
Ann.
Yes.
In my studio with a light, just like this.
It looks just
one.
like us.
What do you know?
That's what came out, and then there's basically just a bunch of you two on stage.
Yeah, that's us playing a show in Sault Ste. Marie, Canada.
Stereo.
See, and there you got the gong behind you. You have
Yeah.
that with you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the gong must be played.
I was wondering about that. I was just like, what do you? Oh, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta check this stuff out. Then this, obviously, that's from your arts past
Yeah.
and background
Yeah,
on all that. Because I
so-
love the coloring and all that. Now you just have the
Thanks.
projector going right through you.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
wear
we-
white so
and
it
project
projects
on
onto
ourselves.
us.
Oh, dude, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this picture, there's a little bit extra lighting on us, but typically,
Yeah.
in a club setting, we'll have all the lights off, and the projector is the light source. Because we always do the video show. We always have its big screen on truss behind
Exactly.
us. That's why I say 5,000 things to set up.
It's just what it is. I don't know. To me, it's just more or less as we go along here. I just believe that people listen with their eyes
Yeah.
more than their ears
absolutely.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to my friend the other day. He's like, I listen to all the new bands on YouTube now. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. He's
You
like, I don't
want
go out and buy
people to
records.
hear
I
a
just listen to them on
song.
YouTube.
Yeah, you want people to hear a song, you have to make a video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, definitely. There's that.
Same show. Yep. More
Same
videos.
song.
I just love that coloring, though. Like, man.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you come up with all the photos, I'm guessing. So
Yeah. I mean,
visual
with
artist?
The background and video art, basically, we write songs, and then I'd listen to them possibly under the influence of something like mushrooms, possibly not,
well, you know.
and come up with some ideas like, okay, this song makes me think of people waltzing in the yard in bodysuits at night with weird lights on them, or whatever it is, and I'll film that, and then, run it through whatever
Film
I'm running
that.
it through. Yeah, I'm a filmmaker. And then
There is so many layers here.
it's a lot.
There's a lot of layers.
It's a lot. Sometimes the videos get produced pretty quickly. Like I finished one this summer that I've been working on for maybe 3-4 months for an 8-minute song. Sometimes they take a few years. Like we put out a 40-minute song in 2019. The song took 5 years to write. The video took 2 years to make. So
Well, you're
we
doing it
try
right
to-
then.
we
You're
try
not
to
just
keep
rushing
the
through.
production house
Yeah.
moving quickly, ideally.
That is crazy. And then do you sit on the floor then, I'm assuming?
Used to.
Used to.
I am a full-grown 40-something. These days, my hips like it when I stand up. So I have a standing keyboard stand and gong stand now.
But we haven't
Okay.
upgraded our press kit yet. We don't have enough. We just started doing it this year, so we still need
Yeah,
a
we
lot
need
more photos of the
pictures.
new setup.
So anyone listening,
But it looks just like
planning
that,
to come
except
to our
Anne's now,
show,
it's
take
all
pictures, send them to
standing.
us. Take
Yeah.
pictures and send them to us.
That
Yeah.
just shows off more of the white. I
Yep.
didn't even realize that when I was going through there.
Yeah.
And you have the white, the white SG too.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, and a white synthesizer as well.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
Right, by accident. Really.
By accident.
Yeah, it just kind of happened that
A
way.
happy little accident.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
Ah,
Looks
and-
like lordship here, but where are we?
Well, we actually
We're in
are
Scotland here.
in a
Oh,
very
serious.
nice place.
I just called
We're
that
in
out.
Inverness on Loch Ness. So
Yeah, that's Loch Ness behind us.
Oh, wow.
we played a show.
Did you see old
just on
Nessie?
Loch Ness. We looked.
Looked.
My heritage is from there, so it was really fun to play in Inverness, where my family emigrated from.
Oh, nice.
And that plant behind us, that yellow plant,
Yeah.
it's called gorse. It grows all over the heaths and just the fields in Scotland.
Gotcha.
The flowers smell just like coconut.
Serious.
Yeah, super weird.
Oh, man.
Super weird.
And we
Cool place.
visited Aleister Crowley's old house while we were
That's
there.
Wow.
Which was also
Which was
Jimmy
just a burned out
Page's-
hovel at that
and
point.
Also
Yeah.
Jimmy Page's house later.
Yes.
Jimmy Page's?
Mhm.
Yeah, he bought it
'cause
from-
heard Aleister Crowley.
Okay.
Not from Aleister, but
Yeah, there were some years in between, but. And
Dude.
Beluskin House also, I think, had something to do with my family heritage. We're hoping next time we go to that part of the world that maybe we can play a show there. And Beluskin House people.
Get in there. Yeah.
know,
All
right?
these metal acts from Fargo area, they're always over someplace in Europe
Oh my
playing.
God,
So,
probably Scandinavia.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they just come back with a million photos and all this fun stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
yeah, jealous. I've been to Canada twice. The second time, I'm pretty sure I was illegal.
Ah,
But,
well,
you
you're
know, I
not
was
that
back in the
far
day.
here.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that is cool. That's what we got for that. But let's watch that video because I'm so
Okay.
interested now.
Yeah.
The video background and then the artistic stuff and all that. And I don't know what this one's called. It was your newest one.
Oh, yeah. It's called Gibbet Lore. I know it's a weird name. It's a name of a chapter from a book about old time.
Oh yeah,
potions.
there it is. That's
so
it.
this is not one that we play live yet, but we are working on that.
And it's not our
This
live
is
show.
still-
This is just like a video.
But eventually this will be projected behind us when we play the song live. We just have to arrange it for live performance, which will be this winter's activity.
Okay.
So enjoy.
And we can talk over the top of it.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to tell stories. So
This looks like the
song
Badlands out in
It's
Western.
the misty Badlands in
Just sets up the ambiance.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that guitar tone. Nice. It's giving me chills right there. I like that. I didn't think of that until you said that. I was like, yes, it's true.
And then, yeah, Sonic is expressing all this black.
Thus the masks.
Yeah.
My son was huge into that when he was in high school.
Plague masks. Yeah.
Plague Doctor Mask things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
it became the goth thing for a while. That's-
Yeah, sure.
She did a good job.
Uh-oh.
And these are,
These are our plague dancers.
yeah, what do you call it? A festival of fools.
Yes, it's a feast of fools. So the
Feast
idea
of fools.
Gotcha.
The Black Plague lasted 150 years. At least the
That
most
long?
famous about.
Was it?
Yes,
The bubonic
or-
plague?
Yeah, in the 14th century or whatever. And so I think the idea is like with COVID, it's been 3 years.
Feels like 150,
I know,
yeah.
Right.
Put it in context. So idea is like people celebrate because they think it's over. It's not over. It's very loose concept. Sonically, here's where you're touching these songs.
So how'd you come up with the costuming for this? It's just
Renfest. I mean, I'm not a Renfester at all. but
Okay.
in my mind, I was like, a lot of people do Renaissance Festival. And, you know, it's very loose interpretation. And I can tell one of our friends there is wearing a porch over his head.
it works.
So, yeah, there's his Renfest costume.
It was a casting call where it was just, loose interpret.
Extremely casual.
And we brought some funny hats and masks ourselves for anybody that didn't
Yeah, Feast of
have anything.
Feast of Fools, which is the traditional medieval party where people
It's the eat the nuts part with the
got the
almonds
nuts,
pouring all
nuts.
over everybody's face.
The too soon protester is protesting, making jokes about the Black Plague because hundreds of years is still not enough time. It's too soon. It's tasteless.
You had protesters there?
Well,
No, just the one guy in the back.
Oh, okay.
But he's on purpose.
Yeah,
Seriously.
a purposeful protest.
There he is, back there with his sign that says "Too soon."
Merry-making
Yeah.
dancers begin to get sick and die of Black Plague.
Oh, the pustules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Buboes
Well,
will
they're
show
they're
up.
coming in. They're coming up at the end.
Pustules happen too. Some deaths more dramatic. That Red Dancer is actually a bit of creative continuity because that actress has been in a bunch of our
That-
films and that
Okay.
kind of stuff.
There's our
Yes,
pustules.
and there are buboes.
Ugh.
Brian was our wonderful actor for this scene, shot in the backyard. You gotta love condoms filled with whipped cream.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the
Pretty
whole
high
thing.
Yeah,
Concept. Yep.
I mean,
Nice.
there's some credits that roll, but yeah,
There's a lot going on in there.
yeah, yeah.
Man.
To say the least.
Jeez. So you gotta. How do you come up with this type of stuff? You explain how you come up with the art, the visual art that goes on top there. But where do these songs come from?
Right.
The
How do you-
songs,
That one could
they come out of the
they wrap
ether.
around themselves.
The ether,
too,
I
though.
love it.
I mean, like the guitar line in that when he was writing it, it kind of sounded like sounds so bad. It sounded like someone saying, "Give it, Lord, give it, Lord." Like as a kid, my parents had this like 1890s era book called Old Time Punishments. I picked up in Colonial
Oh,
Williamsburg when I was
interesting.
little.
Okay.
And I used to love to look at the pictures of the brank and the jowls and the pillories and the stocks and the Halifax gibbet and all this other weird old ways of punishing people. And the last chapter of the book was called gibbet lore, gibbet lore. And as a small child, those words cracked me up, and they always stayed in my head. And as an adult, I would do a Google search like gibbet lore, nothing comes up. The gibbet is like a gallows, like a thing that,
Okay.
a cage where a dead body would hang in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, like Gibbet Island, and I think the Bermudas or something. That's where they'd hang the dead bodies. And Captain Kidd, I think he was gibbeted for like 2 years or something like that. Like his body was decomposing in a cage hanging from a gibbet. Oh, really lovely talk
all
for
that
a Tuesday
fun
afternoon.
stuff out there. Yes.
And the idea of gibbet lore was like, oh, these are stories about the gibbet. And I don't know, the way the guitar sounded like it was saying that, and then the sound of the bell earlier on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is like Monty Python. Like, I'm going to make a video that is kind of Monty Python meets AC/DC here.
But in general, our songs come from any kind of. Sometimes we'll just jam and improvise, and then we'll record it, and then we'll go back and pull out stuff from it that we think, oh, that would make a nice song. Other times, we'll just have, things pop in our head, and we'll try to hammer them out on either voices or instruments or something like that. So.
And it all comes together piecemeal. I mean, the lyrics, got the juice, drink the juice, got the nuts, eat the nuts. Literally, during the pandemic, I'm in the kitchen, late one night, we've been jamming, recording, whatever, and I'm like, I've got juice, I've got nuts, I've got everything. So.
At those times, yes, you probably did.
It could be a metaphor, too. We were those weirdos that dived into art during 2020 and 2021. So even though, there's that baseline terror and
Yeah,
fear
exactly.
and anxiety and frustration and depression, there also was like, well, we got nothing to do but make music and art, so let's do it. And so in a way, it was kind of a healing time for us. It was very weird.
Can I tell you how COVID got started?
Because Neil Peart died from Rush.
Well,
sorry,
it
that's
wasn't
my
that
answer.
dramatic, but yeah, poor Neil Peart.
He died in January of 2020.
Yeah, he did. Yes, that was
Just
right
The
before that.
timing.
But my last
Coincidence?
class that I got to teach that day was a class of 8th grade clarinet players, and the following Tuesday they had to play a solo ensemble for their parents, and they were so afraid to play this solo. It was actually an ensemble for their parents that they wished that COVID would hit and shut down all the schools. Within 24 hours, we were shut down. So you can
Wow.
blame them. Discovery Middle School, yes.
Blame the
That was all you guys.
Blame the kids.
Look what you manifested.
It's all
And then I'm very ashamed. The first month of COVID, I just played solitaire on the computer
Hell yeah.
constantly.
Hell
Yeah, I
You
mean,
probably got
that
really
was-
good.
I did, but why? It was
Yeah.
a real why
We
question.
blamed it- we
Wasted
blamed our
time.
cat a little bit because we got a kitten right before COVID
Oh,
started.
nice.
He's,
Perfect timing.
Really, really cute and very engaged cat. And then it's like, oh shit, we've got like a 6-week European tour coming in March of 2020. Like he's gonna be so mad. He's gonna shit everywhere. And then it was like, oh, no, sorry, little guy, we're gonna be staying home with you for a little while. Poor cat. He suffered.
Oh, poor Putty.
I
Yes.
know. He was very happy when we did not go on tour.
Yeah.
Do you take tours in Europe and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, we toured
Yes.
Southeast Asia as
You just
well.
haven't got to Scotland yet.
Well, no. When we played Inverness.
Oh, no, you
Yeah,
did.
we
Okay,
played
I
Edinburgh a few
misinterpreted.
times. We
Yeah,
played
no, that
Glasgow a
picture
few
was
times.
when we were over there playing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we've played Europe, we've played Asia, we've
Yeah.
played Canada and Mexico, and all over the
We
U.S.
still got to do South America, Australia, and Africa. We're working on it.
Working
Middle
on it.
East, We're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I got to get this weekend report here.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you this question before we get going here. If and when you would want to stop this, what pinnacle do you have to hit before you'd say that's enough? I think we're done.
Good question.
Okay. I know what my answer is, and it's kind of morbid, but I'm going to let you guys
Okay, good one.
think about that. But we got to get this weekend report. So see you now. We miss you, man.
Okay, we're Uptown at the Windbreak. Got that band Uptown's going to be hitting the stage tomorrow night, Thursday the 7th. October Road on Friday, and the Winter Slots rounding it out on Saturday the 9th. At the Shooting Star Casino, Tripwire, our good friends at Tripwire are going to be playing on Friday and Saturday 8th and 9th. At the TAC, the Post-Traumatic Funk Syndrome on Thursday. And Joe Flip is going to be doing SRV and ZZ Top Tribute on Friday the 8th. The Southtown Poorhouse, Grand Forks at Band Uptown, moving around Friday the 8th. And the Blue English Band will be rounding it out on Saturday the 9th. Downtown Acoustic Corner on Wednesday. Tonight, Kyle Colby at Murphy's Pub, just a few blocks from here. And then Rick Adams will be at the American Legion. And then tomorrow night, we have Mike Morris at the Spicy Pine in West Fargo. Jim White at the Silver Spike. Dan Brecky at Pub West. Friday, 8th, nothing. On Saturday, September 9th, we got Pepper Ashmore at the Roundup Saloon. Downtown, we have the Front Street Tap Room. We got open mic night with Travis Niros next Monday the 11th. Then Dan Kaufman on Friday the 8th. Scotch and Pooey on Saturday the 9th. At the Cellar, we have open mic night with Mark Way Belcher happening right now, Wednesday the 6th. And then Side Street, we got Jazz Night next Monday the 11th at Cowboy Jack's with our good friend Jay Stevenson. Open mic night on Sunday the 10th. The Jasper Theater, we have a tribute to Carole King and the Singers on Saturday the 9th. And then at Harley Davidson, West Fargo, Quick 56, our good friends at Quick 56, be hitting the stage out there on Thursday the 6th in West Fargo. VFW, we have Raw Sugar back on Friday and Saturday, 7th and 8th. And Urban 42nd, they're back up and running with Kathy Brecky, the jazz band. Deadbeats on Friday, and Funk Commission hitting the stage on Saturday the 9th. Downtown, we have Dempsey's open mic with Gina Powers on Thursday the 7th. I heard that Gina Powers is moving out to Nashville, so might be a last few. And Heart and Soul on Friday the 8th. At the Aquarium, we have a big one here. Super Cruiser, Nato Coles, and Diamond Blue Bar. Joel Bartel, Mike Defendant, Katrina Joe, Gunslingers, Crooked Country, Radical Fun Times, Poor Choices, Mr. Meaner, Atomic Lights, Old Wolf, Brian Hoffman, Agriflex, Callie Nelson, Dead Swans, Feral Prairie Mischief, Boo Boots, Mitch, Jeffrey, and Summer Teeth on Friday the 8th, and over at Harold's on the 9th. And we have Ashfall, Damn by Design, our friends, good friends of Anomic, on Saturday the 9th. At the Alibi Lounge, we have open mic night tomorrow night, Saturday or Thursday the 7th. And we have Blarney Stone, the Righteous Songs on Thursday. And Travis Nagel will be hitting the stage on Sunday the 10th. At Troll Lounge, we have open mic with the Amp School of Music on Thursday the 7th. And Pepper Ashmore on Friday the 8th. At the Fargo Brewing Company, we have Gabriel Douglas on Thursday the 7th. And then Stephen Marley and Ron Artist II on Monday the 11th. And out of town, we have the Original and Mine on Frantic Anarchy on Friday and Saturday. And then the Laughing Sun Brewing Company in Bismarck-Mandan area. Our favorite brewing company from the Bismarck-Mandan area, Sunday, and Mr. Gossel on Thursday. Sugar Break on Friday. Shoshana with the band on Saturday the 9th. And then we have Lisbon Sheldon Rodeo. That Uptown band is still out there on Saturday the 9th. They're moving around.
All right, and we are back. So now we got to figure out what's the pinnacle. What's the thing that's going to, you know that you're never going to get past that point, so you're just going to want to give up.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say give up, but maybe it's time to set it down.
That's a good question. I honestly couldn't tell you. I thought one of the last things I wanted to do was write a requiem, like Darsombra's version of a requiem, and that could maybe be the last thing. But then we put out an album called Transmission in 2019. It was like 140-minute song, which is pretty much like a requiem. So,
it's a requiem.
So then I did it. So I don't know. I don't know where I go from here. If it ever became something that became maybe somehow weirdly popular, I might decide that I don't feel like doing it anymore, because when things get
that's interesting right there.
I think when things get to a point where they become like this huge thing, it just becomes something more than art. It becomes now like your business, and there's people on payroll and all this silly shit. And then these bands that come around, and I don't think they're making artistic decisions anymore. It's all about like business decisions, and
what's going to get your stock prices up?
Yeah, and so that I think if that, and luckily for me, that'll probably never happen. So that means I never have to stop until I die.
Cottage industry, DIY forever.
DIY forever. I love it. Forever. So there we go. All right. Do you believe we've been going for almost 50 minutes straight?
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah. I have a different pinnacle.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So we're both like huge science fiction nerds, particularly like Trekkies these days. But when the moon gets colonized, we will play a show on the moon. So you Gen Zers out there, come on, get that space colonization going. We will do our show on the moon.
Everyone back
and
Elon.
Then we will quit.
But
After the
why
show on
quit
the moon.
at the moon?
I just heard
maybe
something.
Mars, maybe Mars.
As we were listening to conspiracy theories on the way home from our show last time, and they're talking about how the moon was hollow.
Whoa.
That's
just
the
a
first time I
big
ever
balloon.
heard that.
It's just a big helium balloon.
They
up
mentioned
there.
the
Exactly.
giant monolith on it from Jupiter.
There you go. It was brought there by some kind of beings, and
To be
it was
just for ornamentation in the
When
sky.
2001
Exactly.
Something to look at
becomes-
for entertainment.
when 2001 becomes real,
Yeah.
then we'll quit.
then you'll quit.
In
So you get too
3001.
popular, or the alien
When we
show
get
up.
invited to play the White House, that's when we get
Ooh.
like, quit.
Yes, when we play the Super Bowl, that's when we cackle out of me on that one.
Yeah,
Not
you
to wear
guys
my
are way too much
Prince,
fun
my
with us.
Prince assless pants though.
Oh, you could just wear them in Winnipeg, you know.
White assless pants.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's 18 up there, so
Ah.
it is what it is.
All right.
All right. Well, we got a little juvenile destruction here before we get on to the ending of all this. So you ready for a little juvenile destruction? I'll have to explain it to you after we're done.
Sure.
Here we go. This week's Off the Roof.
Oh.
Now, granted, these are all recycled. I'll have to explain it to you after the show, but
Yeah. No, this is
the
great.
driveway was filled with junk for too damn long. That wasn't my fault.
Mm.
What do we got going here? This is what happens when you give a drummer who's bored iPads and GoPros
Hell yeah.
and an iMovie program.
A bored drummer. That sounds like
It is trouble. It's
trouble.
terrible.
Here we go.
And I know what this one is now.
Oh.
Boring. An easy bake oven.
Ah, class.
Perfect game too. You're hired. There we
Awesome.
go. This week's Off the Roof. But basically, I have to explain this to you because you're probably like, why are you throwing random crap off the roof?
Honestly, I didn't question it for a second. It
See,
seems
you
totally up my
understand
alley.
already.
Yeah.
But,
Yes,
but
there's
here's
a
how it
need.
all came about was that I grew up in this house and I bought it for my dad a million years ago. He's out in his ranch, basically. And I'm still looking for a farmstead out there. North Dakota, please, let me know in the comments below. And we get the parties going, and inevitably someone would get up on the roof and start throwing random electronics off just to watch it explode on the driveways. So, that's how we entertained ourselves in the 90s, and I'm sticking with it. So, just keeping the
Awesome.
traditional live. So, you want to see anything get exploded on my driveway, just throw it in my yard. I don't care. We'll come pick it up and all that other fun stuff. But that's what the Off the Roof is for. But
I can
True school.
appreciate that.
True school. Yeah.
we thank you, Ann and Brian, for being on the show today. That was really awesome.
Thank
Thank
Hearing
you,
where
Wade.
you came from and what you're going to be doing. And, yeah, I got to be too popular, then I'll quit. That is freaking epic. I love that. But what you got coming up here besides going to Canada?
So we're only about
One week
one
into a
week into a
7-week
7.5 week tour. So you got us
7.5 weeks.
They got us pretty fresh. We don't get home until late October.
And the cat's going to be pissed.
And the cat's
he's
staying with
with
a
his
friend. We left him a
godmother.
giant bowl of food. He'll be
He's with his godmother down the street. He's got a girlfriend over there. He's doing.
Oh,
fine.
he's fine
He's
then.
doing-
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the cat's name?
You're gonna love it. We have a 3-legged black cat named
Oh.
after Bon Scott.
So his
Bon.
name is Bon.
Bon.
Bon. Good
Aw.
old Bon. French for good, but truly a hellion.
Aw. With 3 legs.
3 legs. We always wonder, how does he get on a neighbor's roof? How does he fight with foxes? Why was he chasing a deer out of the yard?
He's a
3
vicious
legs.
killer. Don't let that 3 legs make you give him any sympathy for a second.
But if he bites you, that means he likes you.
Yes, but
And if he
Oh.
draws blood, he really likes you.
but he brings in birds and all kinds of things, which I don't know how he
Snakes.
catches with that one front arm, but somehow he gets these birds and snakes and every other kind of imaginable
Nice.
critter in the yard.
Nice job. My cat's too fat. He tries, but all I'll say is he'll eat your face. He'll definitely do that. So.
Yeah, he's got that going for him.
All right. So you're 7 weeks out. Where's the furthest place you're going?
I would say probably Nanaimo or Olympia, I guess.
Yeah, in the Nanaimo, Olympia.
Yeah,
The
we
pi-
are playing Protection Island for the first time, which is
Protection
an
Island?
Yeah, right.
What's that?
exactly.
It's
So
a-
it's an island between Vancouver and Vancouver Island in the
Oh.
Sound that we have to put all our equipment on a boat. We can't even drive our van.
There's no I don't think there's any roads there.
Yeah.
I guess you take a boat over there and maybe you ride little golf carts around
Yeah,
or
something like
electric
that.
cars on the island or something.
It's an early show for all you Nanaimo folks, and we're playing with a Grateful Dead cover band.
Which is going to be really interesting.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
Because
it'll be a
we're
good
trippy,
time.
but in a different kind of
Good
way.
Yeah, we're
so
not really a jam band, but those early Dead albums, the first one, Anthem of the Sun, was my favorite album growing up. So, I can
Very
appreciate.
But I bet your light show will be way better.
probably.
And much, much more confusing.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you guys again for coming on. You have
Thank
any
you for
last
having
things you want to say before you get on? How can we get a hold of you and all that fun stuff?
We're all over the internet. You can go to darsombra.com. We're on
internet.
Facebook and Instagram. We have a YouTube channel and a Bandcamp page. So you just Google in Darsombra and all these goodies will pop up in the search engine.
Yeah,
And that's how you get.
probably even spell it Darsombra or
We have
Darsombra.
We have a new album
It'll
out,
still come up.
Doomsday Book. It just came out on August 25th, so just a couple weeks ago. So
Oh, nice.
go check that out. Go pick it up if you want. It comes in all sorts of formats: LP and CD and digital download. I think a cassette version will be coming out
Beautiful.
eventually.
Beautiful. And I'll have all that stuff linked down below as well, at least as much as I can find.
Great.
Thank you.
So you got to remember, if your drummer's got more charisma than your front man, your band may be in trouble. But that's why my band's doing just fine. So until next time.